Heather?
Well, the investigation into what actually happened on that night of terror in Benghazi, Libya, taking center stage this week on Capitol Hill. Congress holding a highly anticipated hearing into the assault that will happen on Wednesday. And today, some Republicans are accusing the Obama administration of trying to suppress witness accounts of the attack. Here's Congressman Jason Chaffetz, a key member of the House Oversight Committee, speaking on Fox News Sunday.
They're scared to death of what the State Department is doing to them. And that's what, look, we're the other branch of government. They're supposed to be able to come to Congress and be able to share this type of information. That has not happened because the administration is suppressed.
So let's bring in our political panel, former Republican Senator from Massachusetts and Fox News contributor Scott Brown, and former Democratic Congressman from Pennsylvania, Joe Sestak. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you, Heather.
Great to be on, Heather.
Congressman Sestak, I'm going to begin with you. Do you believe that the Obama administration has blocked potential Benghazi whistleblowers from testifying? If so, why or why not?
I certainly don't know, of course, but I think the congressman who just spoke has the absolute right point. Look, in 31 years in the Navy, I learned to expect what you inspect. In fact, when we have an accident at sea, for example, with an airplane, we have 2 inspections to hold those who have erred accountable, but even more to fix it so that it doesn't happen again. I think the White House, I think the administration should be as open and transparent as possible with any allegations, founded or unfounded, and then therefore Congress should also do this, hopefully not in a partisan way, but to see what went wrong from their viewpoint. We've had the Accountability Review Board, but that was done by the administration. I think Congress has the right to do this. I just hope it isn't done in a partisan way.
The Accountability Review Board also in question apparently at this point. Senator Brown, Fox News spoke with an attorney representing the whistleblowers. She backed up Congressman Chaffetz's allegations. Let's listen to what she had to say.
I'm not talking generally. I am talking specifically about Benghazi, that people have been threatened, and not just the State Department. The people have been threatened at the CIA. It's frightening. They're taking career people and making them well aware that their careers will be over.
So of the 3 witnesses testifying Wednesday, Eric Nordstrom, he, of course, is a top security officer in Libya at the time of the attacks. We have, he has previously testified. We should point that out. He also does not consider himself a whistleblower. There's also Mark Thompson, a former Marine and a deputy coordinator for operations in the agency's Counterterrorism Bureau, and Greg Hicks, the number 2 diplomat in Libya behind Ambassador Chris Stevens, who was killed. Then, of course, he became the number 1 guy. So, Senator Brown, it's been 8 months since the attacks in Benghazi. Why are we now just hearing from them if this wasn't a case of fear and intimidation?
Well, first of all, I want to commend them for actually stepping up and actually coming forward. I remember when we had our classified briefings and we had people coming in, obviously Secretary Clinton at that point coming in, it was like pulling teeth, round and round and round we went. And to the person, we never felt that we got the complete and accurate picture of what happened there. And that's what's happening now. You have the House feels the same way. Listen, the State Department and Senator now Secretary Kerry should be out there saying, listen, we actually encourage these people to come forward. We want a full and fair and open and disclosure process that's transparent, as the Congressman just referenced. With that blessing, these people would come forward and we would find out what's happening, because Congress has the right to know and the State Department has the affirmative obligation to provide that information immediately.
Now, I really want to get to some of this that's been released today. The House Oversight Committee, they released a transcript of an interview that was conducted with Greg Hicks. This is from April 11th, and in it he says that from the get-go, everyone in the mission, they knew that it was a terrorist attack, but perhaps even more powerful, take a look at this. This is what he has to say about the administration's response. First, Ambassador Susan Rice, and what she said 5 days after the attacks. Can we roll, do we have sound from Ambassador Rice, if we could roll that first?
Best assessment we have today is that, in fact, this was not a pre-planned, premeditated attack. That what happened initially was that it was a spontaneous reaction to what had just transpired in Cairo as a consequence of the video.
So here is what Greg Hicks has to say about that response from the administration. First of all, you know, he says he's asked, did you ever have any indication that there was a protest, a popular protest outside the mission in Benghazi? His answer, no. Question, Ambassador Rice, she did the Sunday shows, you just heard her there. In advance of that, surely you were an integral part of her preparation. Is that true? His answer, no, I was not. I was not in any way a part of her preparations. So, Congressman Sestak, I'll ask you this first. Why did the administration not consult with Hicks before putting together those talking points?
If they did or didn't, again, I don't know. Should they have? It seems to me they should have. There's two major points, I think, here. The first is we've already had in the open press for months that there was a human on-the-scene report initially that there were armed radicals within the crowd. In fact, we know there was crew-served mortar systems, heavy weapon systems there. Why wasn't that a piece of information that was presented by Susan Rice? Was it her? Was it someone else in the administration? Or was there an overriding reason why they didn't do it? That's number one. Number two, and this is what I would like to know, why wasn't our foreign emergency support team called up like it was when we had our embassies overrun in Tanzania, Nairobi, Kenya? You know, they're supposed to be on scene in less than 48 hours. The FBI, which should be there for 3 weeks, with the CIA, our JSOC team, our special forces, as well as the CIA. I think these are legitimate questions. Now, I can't tell you what the answer is, but I know we want the facts, accountability, and results, and out of that, hopefully never again to have happened, the loss of 4 men and women. I can't tell you who's to blame yet,
right,
but I do know this, error is human, but it doesn't absolve responsibility.
Senator Brown, you get the last word here as we wrap up. You know, will we eventually get the answers that we're seeking? Do you think anyone else at this point will come forward?
Well, we should have had the answers soon after it happened. As I said, during the classified briefings, it was like pulling teeth, number one. Number two, bottom line is there are 125 to 150 assailants with mortars, heavy artillery, and grenades, rocket-propelled grenades and the like. There's a reason why Susan Rice is not the Secretary of State now, because of her misstatement and falsifications when it came to testifying before members of Congress. And that's not right. We need to find out the answers. I challenge Senator and now Secretary Kerry to actually come out and say that we are going to encourage anybody and everybody who has information to come forward before Congress and give them the answers that they need once and for all, as the Congressman said, so we can learn from those mistakes and then hold anybody accountable if there is accountability to be had.
And Greg Hicks, he went on to say that, you know, the impact of the administration's public response, immeasurable and a fatal error. Thank you both for joining us.
And demoralizing.
Good to be with you both.
Yes.
And demoralizing, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Joe.